It was too soon to talk about free agency, and Carmelo said there was no way he would come off the bench next season. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Steven Jackson.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
What went wrong for OKC?
Well, first, coaching-wise, they were not coached the right way. All season, I've tried to come up with ideas and hope Billy Donovan was listening to our shows and give him ideas of how to play with three of the best one-on-one players in the game. They played like Golden State, and they shouldn't have. He should have put those guys in more one-on-one, half-court offenses that would have cut out those crazy threes Carmelo used to take, that would have slowed Russ down. Because you got to, even though Russ great, you got to put some kind of leash on him, especially in the playoffs. And I don't think that he ran the right offense all year, and that struggled for them. They should have had more ISO plays. It's a famous play that every team used to run. It's called drop, where you get a big man that can pass to get on the elbow and just drop it down to your guard on the post. Melo, 2-3 dribbles, he's unstoppable. Paul George on there as a two-guard, a 6'9" two-guard posting up, he's unstoppable. They ran the wrong offense, and it was clear that Donovan Mitchell was the best player in that series. Yeah. Now, on the flip side, Russ is right about the hearing racist things and the fans saying stuff about your family. When I played in Utah, when I played there in the playoffs, a guy actually had a life-size cutout of me in the jail uniform. The same uniform they wore in the movie Life, with my face on it, and my mom saw it. She went crazy about it. And nobody from the NBA told him to take it down. It was right under the goal, right in the camera, the TV camera, where everybody could see it.
What year was this?
This was in 2007 when I was with Golden State. Nobody told him to take it down, and they just left it there. And
regular season,
post? This is playoffs. And I actually went to the guy and signed it after because he wasn't one of those guys. He was actually a good fan. He was just, he was just trolling. Right. But we heard all kind of stuff during that series about our families and all kinds of stuff from the Utah fans, and it happens every time. Utah is probably the worst city I've played in my career dealing with that, because it's definitely not a place for the brothers. Right. And when you go there to have a drink, you got to join the bars. You got to actually join the bar. Like, it's just a different place. Right. And
now, Russ didn't go racial, but you heard racist comments.
Yeah, that's what
I've heard that from a lot of players.
Yeah, but Russ actually said that on his press conference, that they say racist things and they say stuff about his family.
I heard vulgar and disrespectful.
But it happens in Utah, and it is not the first time, so I'm not surprised. But that's not the reason why they lost the series.
Right,
Donovan Mitchell was by far the best player in this series, and I think Utah did a great job of going younger with this team, drafted him, and even making a change of the look of the court and the organization. They got new colors and all this stuff. So I think Utah is going the right direction. I think OKC need to revamp their offense. I don't think it was the players. I really think it was the coach.
They're not going. You can't coach Russ. This is his second. Scotty Brooks tried it. Billy Donovan has tried it. You couldn't. He was so uncoachable. Kevin Durant packed his bag. Kevin Durant would rather get criticized for going and joining a 73-9 team. And every chance he gets to take a shot at the why he left, he leaves no stone unturned in letting you know that's why I left. Russell Westbrook shot the ball 43 times. He shot the ball in the second half alone 28 times. The rest of his teammates shot it 21. How do you win a game like that? You can't. You look at, it's great, the triple-double. Skip, you're not going to win with him. Now, he might average a triple-double next year. He might average one the year after that. But guess what? You got Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, and you won one more playoff game. But I tell you what, Sam Presti, you better hope Paul George signs back. Because if he doesn't, it looks like Victor Oladipo going to be the real deal moving forward. Skip, they can't win like this because you got a bunch of guys, as Stack said, they're individuals. And Carmelo is a shell of himself. He's not that. He still can get a few buckets here and there, but you're asking him all of a sudden to be Kyle Korver.
Yep.
He's never been that. No. So he can't transition to that. Paul George has his moments, but you can't play off P. You can't give yourself a name either. I let him have it.
Thank you.
Stop it, Skip.
Playoff
P. Can't give yourself.
He
play off P for 2 games. He'll play off P. They call Paul Pierce the truth because somebody gave him the name. Somebody gave Allen Iverson the answer. Yeah. Give yourself a name. That way, somebody gave him the team. Somebody gave him the chosen one.
Somebody gave him that name, and he refused to let it go. But that being said, Skip, I'm sorry. Your OKC Thunder, this is about as far as they're ever going to go. And good luck ever attractive. So think about this. What free agent you know that's going to be up on the market and can go get a max deal or can go get a near max deal? So you know what?
Tell me when it's my turn.
I want to go play with Russ.
It's some coaches out there that can get them over there. You get a different coach, it can happen.
Now it's my turn.
That's your time.
I did pick the Thunder. And the last minute and 8 seconds of Friday night's game will take me 4 years to recover from, because I have never seen anything quite like it. But I've also never seen anything quite like the third quarter. It was one of the all-time greatest playoff mano-a-mano shootouts I have ever witnessed. It was Russ going at it with Donovan Mitchell, who has already arrived, as you point out, as a star. And he was ultimately the best player on this floor. But in the third quarter, Russell Westbrook willed them back in this game. And there's nobody with stronger will in all of basketball than this young man.
Right.
And it's just solo will. I get it. But he just said, okay, I'm going to do it. If you guys can't do it, I'll do it. I'll show you Utah. And by the way, he's giving it to the Utah fans just as hard as they're giving it back. So just for the record. But Russ scores 20 in the third quarter. Not that easy to do on 7 of 14 shots. I know it's a lot of shots, but he did make 7, and he made 4 out of 7 threes, which is unusual and uncharacteristic for him. Right. Meanwhile, Donovan Mitchell makes 8 out of 10 shots and 3 of 3 from the three-point line, and he scores 22. But the Thunder are hanging on and hanging in only because of Russell Westbrook. And in the end, it comes down to the last minute and 8 seconds. And Favors makes an 18-foot jump shot to put them up 3. And all of a sudden, Oklahoma City has the ball. And this is, look, if they can get it home, if they can get it back to Oklahoma City, I believe they're going to win a Game 7.
Probably so.
Okay? And they get in one possession. How many times, Steven Jackson, have you seen this in your career? They get 6 straight shots in one possession. 6 straight shots. You have to keep getting offensive rebound, offense. You get 5 offensive rebounds. And the first shot was not even a shot because they said Paul George was not in the shooting motion. Can we see the first one? I don't know. We've got lots of stuff going on here. That's near the end of it. But here we go. This is the first shot. Paul George tries to shoot a 3, and they're saying you're not in the shooting motion. Yes, he was. And they said it's your ball out of bounds. What?
James Harden gets that call.
You're kidding. Oh, James Harden gets that call 100 out of 100 times. Well, he should have been shooting 3 free throws to start the possession.
Right.
And then the last shot of the 6 is the one where he leans into Gobert. And
No, you can't.
That's a foul. That's a foul.
You can't jump sideways. They cut that out.
Kyle Korver, another Jabron, everybody's
does James Harden get that call? Yes, he does.
James Harden get foul calls from walking through the metal detector.
Okay,
so.
you know what? you know what I think? I think the referees had seen so much ugly basketball to that point, and that was the 6th miss in that one possession. I think the refs just finally said, just play. Just let it go. And Oklahoma City, they're all looking at the referee like, what are you doing? And there's still 22 seconds left. So you could foul, and they just let Utah run out. They ran the clock down to 7 seconds left, and the game is over. But they had chance after chance after chance. Now to my man, George Paul, because he is George Paul.
Don't do that, Skip. You called Paul George 2 days ago.
Playoff P.
What's wrong with you, Skip?
I'm going to say
I can't believe it. Skip, what is wrong with you?
Did you realize that, listen to this. Listen to this statistic. This is the guy who wants a max contract to be somebody's savior next year. The last 43 minutes and 15 seconds of the closeout Game 6 at Utah, Playoff P scores 0 buckets. He makes no baskets. No, he made some free throws, but he made no baskets for the last 43 minutes of the game. What is that about? He shoots 2 for 16. He makes 0 for 6 threes. 0 for 6? This is Paul George. This is the guy where Russ is going to have some help. Baloney. He had no help. Are you kidding me? You stayed in the game in spite of this guy.
Let me ask you a question, Stat. Maybe you can help me out here. Let's just say I'm going to switch one player on this team. I'm going to take Russell Westbrook off, and I'm going to put him on the Cavaliers. And I'm going to put LeBron James on this team. So it's going to be LeBron, Paul George, Melo, and Steven Adams. And Russ got that supporting class in Cavaliers. Who you think win the series?
Well, the way it looked, they both would have been struggling. Because LeBron just struggled too, win 7 games. So I can't give him that yet.
So let me ask you a question.
You know what? You would be saying about Paul George what you say about Jordan Clarkson and Rodney Hood.
So you think
you'd be saying LeBron still doesn't have enough
the
help.
Cavaliers the 4 starters that LeBron played with are worse than the 4 starters that Russ played with? Is that what you're telling me?
No, not at all.
So that's what I'm saying.
So
if I put LeBron James, are you telling me LeBron James with that starting cast doesn't beat Utah?
Well, you put LeBron James on Prairie View A&M, and they might win the college NCAA championship.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You put LeBron anyway.
I just want people to give me credit.
That's a good line.
I just want people to give me credit.
But that's the first Prairie View reference we've ever had on this show. Thank you.
I just want to know what's going on. What is Paul George? Paul George is a good player, Skip.
He's
just had a bad
This
series.
is it. This is the game. This is the most important game of the year, obviously, by far. And you shoot 2 for 16 and you don't score a bucket for the last 44 minutes of the game?
Well, you ain't say nothing about...
And you want a max contract?
You didn't have a problem with Russ. Somebody, he going to shut that bleep off, and Ricky Rubio put that thing on.
By the way, thank you for bringing up Ricky Rubio, because the quarterback of the Utah Jazz was lost 5 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to deal with Ricky Rubio for the rest of the game. Obviously, Houston didn't have to deal with him yesterday because he's probably going to be out for the whole series. And this is the head of this snake, Ricky Rubio. And you still can't get it home because Paul George, he gets outplayed by Joe Ingles. He does. Seriously, Joe Ingles outplayed him.
Why don't you talk about that 18 of 43 and that 7 of 19 from 3-point? Ain't nobody going to talk about that. We ain't going to mention that.
Yeah, that's one team. They take the worst 3-pointers. They take them out of a lot of pick and rolls. They don't get any wide open threes out of double teams, nothing like that. Because, again, their offense. They're not taking advantage of their one-on-one players. They're trying to make everybody a pick and roll player, and that didn't work.
Well, hold on. Stacks, you keep saying that who is the point guard?
No, but you're right. Russ has a lot to do with it. But Tony Parker was a dominant point guard. But when Pop needed to pull his reins, he pulled them.
He did.
They never had a coach in OKC.
How they going to get him?
They got to get a new coach.
Let me ask you a question. At this juncture, other than Popovich, who can coach Russ?
Oh, I know a couple coaches that can go in there and that are challenging. Mark Jackson, David Fizdale, Jerry Stackhouse. These type of coaches that's played the game, they would challenge him.
David Fizdale ain't gonna challenge him.
I guarantee
you know why? Because he saw what happened to him in Grit when he challenged the guy. He challenged Mark Gasol, and he got him up here doing TV with you and I.
That's a different situation.
But all he did was he made a move that he thought was going to help his team win.
Right.
He didn't say you're not starting anymore. That was a one-game situation.
Right.
And you know Russ is a different animal.
He is.
Okay,
if he wants to win, I think he'll buy it.
To your point, somewhere right now, Kevin Durant, if he's watching, hello, Kevin. He's sitting there saying, he's chuckling, saying, told you.
Yeah.
And yet, I should have told myself about Carmelo, because I thought Carmelo, once it was time, would rise and shine in the playoffs and just figure out a role or make some shots. He is beyond shell. It's sad. It was sad for me to watch him because I was the biggest Carmelo fan. And I agree with you. In the low post, he's just such an unstoppable load. And still, he's not a spot-up three-point shooter. And it was just pathetic because he's not Melo anymore. He's just another Anthony. You know, like he's just some Anthony.
Right.
Dude, OKC had 93 shot attempts. Russell took 43 of them.
Okay, but you're missing the point. They have shots to win the game at the end because he willed them back in. Yeah. I agree with you. That's horrendous. But it was all they had.
But Skip, guess what? On those 6 shots they were taking and they were missing, he took 3 of them.
Well, sure
so he had a chance that he'll win.
And George Paul took 3 of them.
Yeah.
You have to shoot that much.
You're
not going to make all of them.
Right, exactly.
Whoa, Stacks. I understand, but you didn't answer my question.
Yes.
If Russell Westbrook, with that Cleveland Cavaliers, do they get out in the first round against Indiana if Russell Westbrook instead of LeBron James is on the team? A simple yes or a simple no?
Yes.
Well, nobody said
Russ is that good to me. Are we talking about Russ? But he's one guy I love to go to war with. He's one guy that the way he plays and the passion he has, you can't teach. A lot of guys in the NBA don't have that, but it can hurt you sometimes.
I don't care about if I'm gonna go to war, I'm gonna go to war. But the objective is not just to go to war, it's to win the war.
You're right about that.
Okay, just remember what a bad matchup this was. Gobert is the best rim protector in basketball, and LeBron would have a harder time getting to the basket.
We ain't got no hard time because he got to guard Kevin Love. We're going to pull him out from that basket. He got to guard Love.
But that's what people don't understand about playoffs.
Yeah.
It's about who's best in this series. Right. It ain't about who's best in regular season.
We're going to leave it there. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Did the Cowboys get better or worse this weekend? We'll discuss that with Greg Jennings next.
won't back down.
Once there was